we meet to sign an agreement for the upgrading of roads and agricultural lands and so in certain key areas in Onvawak, Parika, Luluni, Ruby. All right. This loan is expected to benefit over 35,000 residents, even as it brings new lands under cultivation. And as you know, new lands coming under cultivation means new activity in those areas, and obviously rapid growth in agricultural output and production, and incomes to households. This is particularly important in rural communities where activities are sparse relative to urban areas. So I'm quite happy to do the signing today, which represents my fourth signing of a loan since the government took power almost 6 months ago. So this is an auspicious occasion indeed, and it's a feather in the cap of the CARICOM Development Fund, and indeed the very brand new Chief Executive Officer of that fund. A loan for $2.4 million US from the CARICOM Development Fund, and the loan will help to alleviate problems that hindering access in the backlands, which sometimes become impossible because of heavy rains, and you have agricultural equipment using wet roads, and then you understand what will happen there. It makes it impossible for those very vehicles and the households who live in those communities. It is important to note that these areas benefited from a previous loan that was approved in 2003, July, over roughly $9.1 million. So this additional 2.4 brings the total here to $11.5 million US that has been spent in those critical areas. And as I said, we hope that not only will this loan go far to benefit, but it represents what we in the APNU plus AFC government has been saying, which is that we will proceed to do things that will bring about the good life for all Guyanese. People will note carefully that these areas have traditionally not supported this government, but it shows that we are not about only who supported us, but we are going to continue to look at Guyanese in general and the development of Guyana in general, regardless of whether people supported us. The president did say he's going to be a president for all Guyanese, and this signing today is a testimony to that, in that we are investing in areas that traditionally have not been seen to support the government. But we know at the end of the day, it's Guyanese and a better life for them that we are looking at.
It's a great pleasure to represent the CARICOM Development Fund here in Guyana as the new Chief Executive Officer of the fund. My name is Rodin Elsuma. I assumed the office on the 1st of September. And it was with great pleasure that I learned that we had received a request from Guyana for supplementary funding to support a project that we had initiated under this current cycle, our last cycle, which ended in the middle of 2015. And while we are into the second cycle of funding, 2050 to 2020, we're able to conclude this supplementary financing before we actually launch into new activities in earnest. So this helps us to close out our operations with you, and helps us to add value in that we are able to restore some of the elements of the initial project that we had to defer because of the constraints of funding from the first cycle. So just to support your own remarks in that regard, this new allocation of loan and grant resources to Guyana of $2,406,088 United States dollars brings the total of CDF's contribution to Guyana to 9.734 million US dollars, which makes Guyana the largest beneficiary of CDF support. So which is another significant factor that we have to record here. In that regard, let me quickly move to thank the government of Guyana for being the first member country of the CDF to actually pay up its full assessed contribution under the new cycle, which therefore makes Guyana also the first country that will be eligible for another round of development support from the CDF. And let me take this opportunity to make a commitment to you, Minister, that as soon as the relevant authorities are ready, we are prepared to commence discussions on a new program of support to Guyana.
We're ready.
So, it allows us, therefore, not to lose any momentum and to demonstrate ourselves that we are continuing to bring tangible benefits to the member countries of CARICOM and supporting the regional integration process. Because, as you know, the mandate of the CDF is to ensure that deeper integration in CARICOM yields optimal benefits to all members. So we need to keep our activity on the ground going so that there's this demonstration of a practical benefit to the citizens of the CARICOM region. So we're very thankful for the opportunity to continue working with Guyana in the new cycle. And again, it gives me great pleasure to share this moment with you, this being your first signing.
Yes.
And mine as well. So I think this augurs well for future cooperation.
It does, and I'm happy to hear that we are in the forefront of paying up the contributions, and we will be in the forefront of putting projects to your board for execution in other areas and in other activities as we go forward with our agenda of transforming the country.
This particular program has a very important financial engineering involved. It is a mix of grant and loan to expand the total available envelope for investment. And this is something that the CDF has worked with. I'm not sure how many other member states of the CDF they've been able to do this, but I believe we are in the forefront of this model of ensuring that in this case we can have over almost 9 million from the CDF and 3 million from the grant side, blended in a manner that makes it very concessional for the development program. It is a very important feature of this particular program.